Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Walker Ford in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have that small size, rugged crossover SUV that's getting some changes for the new model year. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Ford Bronco Sport. This is the top dog trim known as the Badlands. But before we get into this all-wheel drive, on-road and off-road Bronco, let's talk about what's going on here. So a lot of people were really confused back in 2020 when the Bronco came back to Ford's lineup. The Bronco Sport was the first out of the two between the big brother Bronco, the full-size Bronco, and this Bronco Sport. They thought that, whoa, did Ford make a mistake here? This isn't a Bronco like they remember. Well, the good news is Ford decided to bring the Bronco Sport first to the market for those who want some off-road credibility, but also are going to be doing a lot of street driving and they don't want a body-on-frame vehicle. So it's great to have it your way. You could go full-size Bronco, get the Bronco Raptor, get a Wildtrak, or you could go with the smaller size. Now for 2025, they've made some changes, not only aesthetically, but also giving, especially this Badlands trim, some more off-road credibility. It seems that the smaller SUV is becoming more and more popular just because a lot of these other vehicles are becoming so expensive that they wanted to give those that want the Bronco Sport just that extra capability. Now, there's other competitors in this class. One of them is going to be, actually the main one is going to be the Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. So what I want to find out is, do you go with this new Bronco Sport or do you go with the Subi? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, I love this color. It's called Sand Dune. Two-tone style really fits it nicely with that overall boxy shape. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna see an update in the headlight design. Love the way you got the LED daytime running lamps, LED headlights, all nicely implanted inside that headlight housing. Working our way down, we do have some flat black, but the great news is we do have LED fog lamps. And then as we come across the center grille, I love the way you got the big Bronco name in white lettering, really pops nicely. We do have a forward-facing camera with a washer, updated grille. When you go Badlands, it's this gunmetal metallic gray flat finish to it. Working our way down, we do have more functionality in the center because we do have intercooled turbocharged power and all new, ow, damn it, that hurts. But anyways, stamped steel front bumper. You have your powder coated silver recovery tow hooks and also the steel skid plate. Now this whole front lower bumper area has been reshaped for you to have a greater approach angle, and then when we get out back, a greater departure angle. The Badlands sits on a 1-inch lift and it has Bilstein shock absorbers all four corners that have remote reservoirs. So that's something that gives it more that off-road credibility, but nice to have the stamped steel front bumper and the skid plate. On a Subaru Crosstrek, you actually get a piece of aluminum. So yes, the same aluminum that you drink your Coke Zero out of is the same aluminum that they make a skid plate for on the Crosstrek. But let me know what you think about the new look. You can actually, for the first time, also option the Badlands with the Sasquatch package. That's gonna give it even more off-road credibility. And you also get a really killer, stamped steel of course, brush bar. So if there's a Crosstrek Wilderness that's stuck on a trail, you can just push that thing right out of the way. But let me know in the comment section your thoughts. You have about 9 inches of ground clearance with this reshape to the front end. Now as we rise up, same hood as before, looks fantastic in sand dune. It's got the nice double bulge action. Gives it a little bit of beefiness to a smaller crossover. Because remember, this is a subcompact. This is not a compact, subcompact. Now as we come around the bend, what do we work with wheel and tire setup? So you're gonna have on the Badlands these specific wheels, all new, flat black in their design. It's a 17-inch wheel wrapped in these 29 17-inch tires. Now, when you go Badlands, you are getting these Traction Plus Continentals. When you go Sasquatch, you get even a beefier tire. But 29-inch tire on the 17-inch rim, 225 on the width, 65 series sidewall, and then of course, Steven's gonna zoom in and show you the Bilstein shock absorber. Remember, all four corners specially tuned, gives us a 1-inch lift. And on the Bronco Sport, you do have a little bit of flat black. I think the flat black works, especially if you're gonna really take this down the off-beaten trails and paths rather than just go to the grocery store or the mall. But let me know what you think about the wheel. I think they did a good job on the style. Now coming down the side, I don't understand why this is here. I want to take a screwdriver and just like pop it out of there. Just give me sheet metal. Flat black on the mirror caps. You do have your 360-degree camera. The reason why I'm thinking badge is because I love on the Broncos you have your badge. This is the Badlands trim. From the side, you can see the overall dimensions. It's sort of like in between that subcompact and compact. It sits on the same chassis as the Escape, believe it or not. Now, on the side of the vehicle, you do have these nice raised roof rails. Get yourself the crossbars. They got an accessory catalog that's Ford driven, that's actually thicker than the Bible. So the King James Bible, it's got nothing on the accessory catalog for this Bronco Sport. We got the two-tone, full two-tone A-pillar into the roof. I love the safari style roof design rather than just being flat. It's got that nice rise in it. And then on the lower portion, you are getting flat black on the side sills to take a better beating. You got your all-wheel drive, and we do have a twin clutch. This has that special twin clutch unit that is gonna give you better grip on-road and off-road. Now, as we swing it around the back, what do we got going on here? Same great quarter window. My one big zonk is the amount of gloss black right here. That's gonna look like crap after you rub a dry cloth all over it that probably has some stones. You're gonna just scratch it to hell, but it does give it that unique style. Out back, gotta zonk that antenna. Get rid of it, please. I just wanna take this, just like that, and just throw it. See, doesn't that look better? Look at that. I should get a job working for Ford. What I'll do is I'll just unscrew all the antennas that they put on top of these vehicles that look ridiculous. Now, what I also like is that you could actually lift up the rear glass to get into the cargo area. Your Crosstrek can't do that. The only way to get in through the glass on a Crosstrek is to take a hammer, a ball-peen hammer. You smash the glass and then you can get into it, but then you got a problem, you got a big hole. LED lighting, you see the B for Bronco, Bronco Sport. In case you forgot how to spell Bronco, they spell it out for you, Bronco Sport in the back. It does have an exposed wiper, I'm okay with it on this vehicle. And then working our way down to ground level, you do have full tow capability with this Bronco Sport. And you'll notice how they redesigned that lower bumper area to give you a better departure angle. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk HPs in this Bronco Sport. All right, guys, we got the hood popped open. There is a prop rod. I'm gonna let it slide. I'm not gonna zonk it because guess what we have underneath? We have the bigger displacement engine. Instead of the 3-cylinder turbocharged engine, yuck, we have the 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. The only challenge is it's actually less horsepower than last year. Last year you had 250 horsepower. Now we're down to 238 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in about 5.9 seconds. Top speed is governed to 125 miles per hour. MPGs, 21 in the city, 27 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 3,733 pounds and can tow up to 2,200 pounds. So kind of like a Swiss Army knife of a vehicle, because you could daily drive this no problem, but yet you do have a bit of versatility to it, just like the Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this 4-cylinder turbocharged engine and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside the updated 2025 Ford Bronco Sport, the Badlands trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm feeling like Michael Jackson. I'm feeling bad, and I'm liking this Badlands. How much is it? MSRP, the way that this one is spec'd, is literally right at $43,000. It's quite a bit more than a Crosstrek Wilderness, but are you getting quite a bit more than the Crosstrek Wilderness? Let's go ahead. You know how we do it to find out. To the door panels. I like the nice clean style. Soft touch material throughout the whole top portion and middle there. It's like a wetsuit material. Some metallic silver, some metallic gray, no gloss black. Nice gray armrest with the contrast stitching. We do have a B&O sound system, and you got a door pocket large enough for a roast beef and cheddar from Arby's, curly fries, and a large Dr. Pepper. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, you got the Bronco name, soft touch material. What I love is that this thing has no carpet in it. That's going to be easy to keep clean, and I don't mind not having the carpet. They do give you the Ford Motor Company Twinkie cargo net on the side, holds 3 Twinkies. And then slide on in, look what's all new. 13.1-inch infotainment system. So if you are into having the bigger size than your friends, especially your guy friends, you win, because if they get a Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness, they only have an 11.6-inch screen to use. This is over 13 inches. So you're the big winner. The one zonk is everything is in the screen. So heated seats in the screen. There are no ventilated seats for $43,000. I'm going to have to zonk that. You do have a heated steering wheel. You have your dual climate control. But the great news is that you have all of that easy to use sync multimedia software. Go into our features. We could get into towing. All of those things very easily accessible. All the apps. And very quick on the reaction time. You can even watch freaking Rady's rides in here. Now we're talking. What about the cameras? Let's see what we got. I'm going to throw it into reverse. Very clear. The trajectory, the 360. Like this setup better than the portrait style in the Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. And then you do also have your forward-facing camera as well. Easy to use. Working our way down, you got your start-stop button. You can shut off that pesky auto start-stop feature. There's our button for our camera. Real volume knob. Wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, and a 12-volt. This guy right here is going to control your 8-speed automatic. We got the GOAT modes. What are we talking about? Go over any terrain, hill descent control. You can lock the 4-wheel drive, or you could just lock the rear diff. 2 cup holders. There's our Bronco key fob. Remote start. Love the gray finish. Very, very soft. Open this up. You got another 12-volt, and you could easily put, I would say, 5 more beef and cheddars. I remember back in the day, man, you could get a beef and cheddar for like 69 cents. Now they're probably like 20 bucks. What a damn shame. Seats. Love the material. Just a little bit of this weird cloth. I'm kind of scratching my head why they did that, but super soft on the sides. You do have electric assist for the passenger, electric assist for the driver, but the real thing that's got me scratching my head, where the hell's the sunroof? Zonk on no sunroof. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Bronco. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. Easy to get to. Seat controls. Seats are very, very comfy and supportive. I'm 6 feet tall. That boxy shape just gives you more room. And then you got the steering wheel. Nice leather. The Bronco badge there. Flat black on the switchgear. You do have paddles to go up and down that 8-speed automatic, and it is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And look at the way they shape the AC vents. That's supposed to look like a B. B is for Bronco. It's good enough for me. B is for Bronco. And then we got the digital gauge cluster. That's all new for 2025. That's 12.3 inches. And then look at this. You go into the different modes. Yeah, it is like a video game. Love all the different colors. Ooh, that's a crazy green. Hope they make a lime green like that. Or you could go rally, rock crawl. Now that would be interesting. I gotta see that happen. That's gonna be interesting to see some rock crawling done in this vehicle. But the Bon Jovi mode is there for sure, and we're good to go. Love the graphics, love the colors. Why don't we go ahead though? There's no HUD, no head-up display, but let's get in the back seat and see what your passengers are gonna see when it gets to being driven in this Bronco Sport. All right guys, backseat time. The crazy thing is, even though this is Ford's smallest crossover SUV, the amount of room in here, way more room than a Crosstrek, I promise you that. Backs of the seats, love the material. Look at the smart thinking. Why not put a pocket back here so that you could have, you know, your box of Jujubes or Mike and Ike's or Good and Plenty right there. And then of course you have the Molly straps. You could dangle just about anything on the back of the seat. We got a little bit of a command center, AC vents, 2 USB-Cs, and a home power source. Plus, I love the Bronco pocket. That to me is smart, especially with the Bronco. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, is it big enough for a phone? Why don't I show you? There's Oscar. Hey, Oscar. Look at that. Boom. And then I have my own pocket here. I mean, it's just things like that that just make you say, why didn't somebody think of that sooner? But the seats feel great. You got the same neoprene material as up front. Do seats recline? Seats do not recline, nor do they slide. Just something to think about. And then, of course, you got a nice soft armrest, 2 cup holders. Why don't we go ahead, let's get into that cargo area and see what we can stuff, because I heard there's 30 cubic inches back there. Let's see if Ford's telling the truth in that cargo area. All right, guys, cargo area time. Now, you can, like I said, just pop the rear glass. So you can reach in here, easy access. I'm all about easy access. Close it up, or you could open up the whole rear liftgate. The Zonk, top trim, no electric assist. So hopefully you're like Steven, you've been working out, getting your gains, taking whatever stuff you're taking to help you get bigger muscles. But the good news is it doesn't take a lot of muscle. You just lift it up, look at that, 1, 2, 3. I love how low the bumper area is. Plus, let me show you some of the smart things that Ford has put here. You actually have a bottle opener, perfect for when you're at the campsite. Up top, we have LED lights that are built in to the lift gate here. So if you're at a campsite and there's no lighting, you get some really nice lighting. And I like the way you could pivot it to point the lights behind you or in front of you. Everything is covered in protection. You have your button here to turn on your interior lights real easy. And then on the passenger side, here's where we got all our connectivity. Home power source, 12 volt. You got LED lighting with a little Bronco there. Look how cute that is. A little nook for a Yeti on each side. A Yeti bottle, not an actual Yeti. And then you lift this up, you do have a full-size spare, which is killer. But why don't we go ahead? It's that time. If you're ready, this guy's ready. Let's go on the asphalt jungle and see how this Bronco Sport drives. All right, guys, we're leaving Walker Ford. We're inside this 2025 Bronco Sport Badlands Edition. Right away, I've always liked the way these are organized on the interior. They do a great job with getting the room in there, the storage space, and now with the nice large 13.2-inch infotainment system, it's well within reach. Very, very quick reacting, which is awesome. And on top of that, now having a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster looks fantastic. The colors, the graphics, the fonts, all that good stuff. It's crazy to think that with the turbocharged engine, with the 4-cylinder turbo, to be able to go 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds is actually pretty darn quick. Because when you compare it to the Crosstrek 0 to 60 is like 9 seconds. And I'm not saying that people buy these to drag race with, but it's just nice to be able to get out of your own way, especially other people's ways. But having that GOAT mode nicely placed to go through your different modes, your hill descent control, 1 pedal action, locking that rear diff, and the comfort of these seats are really gonna allow you to have that long distance drive, whether you're on road or off road, feel comfortable, feel confident, and you got plenty of power. and that special twin clutch all-wheel drive, that twin clutch diff out back to help get the power to the ground. The different cameras work fantastic in here. That's so important when you're maybe going down that trail and things are getting a little tight when it comes to the trees, or you're trying to park this somewhere in the woods and you don't want to scratch up your beautiful sand dune color. And the seat, like I said, the seats, everything is just very, very well laid out in here and very, very comfy. I like the infotainment system way better than the portrait style. And even though both vehicles have the AC controls in the screen, these are just easier to get to, especially the way they put this little ledge here so you can kind of rest your fingers and then be able to touch the screen at the same time. But being 6 feet tall, having plenty of room in here is quite spectacular for a small size crossover SUV. And if you know your Bronco history, you would know that they had a small Bronco before this one, way long ago. It was called the Bronco 2. So being a new Bronco, a small Bronco, is nothing new. It's just that for some strange reason they brought this one out first before they brought the others. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. 8-speed drops down and we're off. You are getting some sound pumped in through the speakers, but you know what? It's good. It actually helps with the overall driving experience in this Bronco Sport. And even with the little bit more aggressive tires for off-roading, you're still not getting a ton of road noise, which is nice. It's always a compromise, and Ford did a good job with this compromise. But to have the B&O sound system, the nice large infotainment system, all those things all comes together very nicely in this Bronco Sport. Pulling away from the light, good throttle sensitivity. I love the way the steering wheel feels in my hands. And the fact that you have all those modes, I think is gonna make this the Swiss Army knife of SUVs, because it is just so versatile. You got the small paddles, even though they're plastic, behind the wheel you can go up and down that 10-speed automatic. Excuse me, 8-speed automatic. You gotta go up to the big Bronco if you want the 10-speed automatic. But let's go on throttle again from a roll. On throttle, here we go. Drops down, and we're good. That's the one thing you're gonna love about this Bronco Sport with the 4-cylinder EcoBoost, is just being able to go on throttle and get going. You'll be the first one to the campsite, I promise you that. And then if you want to manually shift, you hit the M button on the rotary shifter, and now I'm using the paddles. You get a nice large gear indicator, smooth downshifts, and smooth upshifts as well. And it's just one of those things, if you're doing some light towing, especially if you're going downhill, it's nice to be able to select your own gears, rather than just not have that ability. Just overall for control and braking and all that good stuff. But let's see how the on throttle is when we use the pedals, or paddles I should say. Are you ready? On throttle, all-wheel drive, getting the power to the ground. Really love how this car handles. I mean, just really, really well done with the all-wheel drive system, and gets the power to the ground very, very effectively. It rides well, not a lot of wind noise, not a lot of road noise, which is crazy to me because we do have that boxier shape, and you're still having a pleasant driving experience. Seats are comfortable, they're supportive, and you got that great visibility out the windshield. But why don't we go ahead, we got to get back to Walker Ford and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Another great day in so many ways here at Walker Ford. Definitely got to thank Weston Walker, Frank Walker, Tracy, the rest of the crew getting us this refresh, updated 2025 Bronco Sport Badlands. Let me know what you think. Are you going with Subaru, with the Crosstrek Wilderness, or are you going with this Bronco Sport Badlands? Let me know in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Gotta get out to Stephen Flood. I know which vehicle he would choose. I'm gonna probably say the Subaru since he owns one. So let Stephen know if you agree with him. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.